The story has been whispered in martial arts circles for 50 years. From Hong Kong's underground dojos to CIA classified files, those who know it agree. It changes everything about Bruce Lee. Some swear it's absolute truth. Others claim it's the greatest hoax in martial arts history. What we present is speculative fiction based on rumors, leaked documents, and patterns too precise to ignore. You decide where legend ends and truth begins. The night 7 shadows changed history. November 27, 1940. Hong Kong's worst storm in a generation. At Hong Kong General Hospital, Grace Lee gave birth to her 4th child, but to 3 miles away, in the ancient Man Mo Temple, 7 hooded figures gathered for a ritual that would alter human history. They were the last guardians of the Golden Dragon, a society operating in shadows for over a millennium. They awaited one specific child, prophesied in secret Shaolin scrolls. When the dragon is born under the sign of the dragon, in the year of the dragon, in the hour of the dragon, while heaven's fury shakes the earth, he shall unite the divided worlds. Declassified British intelligence files contain a curious report from that night. Electromagnetic anomalies detected near Man Mo Temple. 7 heat signatures inside, despite official closure. At 4:18 a.m., anomalies ceased. Simultaneous report of birth at General Hospital. Subject, Li Junfan. Recommends surveillance. One of the 7, known as Brother Silence, left a journal discovered decades later as lightning illuminated the temple at 4:18 a.m. We completed the blood ritual. Then we heard it, an infant's cry carried on the wind from the hospital. The dragon had arrived. Bruce Lee was born. We 7 sealed his destiny with our blood. The storm ended the moment Bruce took his first breath. Harbor records show the winds dropped from 95 miles per hour to dead calm in under 60 seconds. The hospital's electrical systems, knocked out by lightning, mysteriously restored themselves. 7 witnesses reported seeing golden light emanating from the maternity ward. The Hong Kong Observatory recorded electromagnetic readings that night that remained classified. Security guards at nearby buildings reported their watches stopped at exactly 4:18 a.m., then resumed 49 seconds later. The number 49 would become significant, 7 times 7. A number that would appear repeatedly throughout Bruce's life. Street lights in a 7-block radius around the hospital flickered in a pattern that, when mapped, formed the Chinese character for dragon. Whatever happened in that temple, it marked the beginning of something beyond normal human experience. The Grandmaster who bent time IP Man appeared to be a humble Wing Chun teacher, but recently discovered surveillance footage tells a different story. Hong Kong police files from 1960 to show IP Man entering buildings that officially didn't exist, meeting people who were supposedly dead. William Cheung broke his 40-year silence. Saifu had abilities beyond martial arts. He knew things before they happened. Once he told me to avoid Nathan Road at a specific time. That's exactly when the riot of '66 broke out. When I asked how he knew, he said, "The dragon must have the right teacher at the right time." The smoking gun came from a dying MI6 operative who leaked documents in 2019. Operation Dragon Watch files revealed, subject IM demonstrates precognitive abilities. Predicted 14 major events with 100% accuracy. His connection to the Lee boy appears to be grooming for something larger. Recommendation: observe only, do not interfere. But the most chilling evidence was IP Man's private notes, written in a cipher that took codebreakers years to crack. The boy's power grows faster than anticipated. Today he mastered techniques that took me decades. His Kai doesn't flow like normal humans, it cascades like a waterfall. The 7 chose well. By 21, he will be ready for the American phase. Students reported that when Bruce trained with IP Man privately, Electrical devices would malfunction. Light bulbs would brighten and dim rhythmically. Compasses would spin wildly. One student claimed he saw Bruce's shadow moving independently of his body during these sessions. IP Man would simply nod, as if this was expected. You see the surface. He once told a questioning student, I see the dragon awakening. A photographer hired to document the school in 1961 discovered all his photos of Bruce were mysteriously overexposed, showing only a bright silhouette. The same camera worked perfectly for other subjects. When he mentioned this to IP Man, the master smiled and said, some subjects are too bright for ordinary film. The photographer's journal, found after his death, contained one haunting line. The boy isn't human. He's something wearing human form, learning to use it. Combat training that defied physics, Wang Shun Lung had a perfect street fighting record. Over 100 wins, 0 losses. But his midnight sessions with Bruce Lee made his public fights look like slow-motion theater. A classified police report from 1960 describes an impossible incident. Officers responding to explosion reports in Kowloon-walled city found two individuals in combat training. Their movements created visible air distortions. Each impact produced blue-white light flashes. When officers intervened, both suspects moved at speeds witnesses called teleportation. Identified as W.S. Leung and B. Lee. Colonial Secretary orders. Classify immediately. Wang's journal, found in 2010, reveals more. The dragon achieved the 7th gate tonight. What took me 20 years, he mastered in 2. His strikes carry the thunder force. We're awakening something meant to sleep for another generation. The 7 insist we continue. May our ancestors forgive what we're creating. Underground fight footage from 1964, authenticated by experts, shows Bruce executing movements that violate known physics. His punches created shock waves visible on camera. His kicks generated electromagnetic pulses that caused film distortion. When uploaded to YouTube in 2009, the video vanished within hours. The uploader disappeared. His family received one message: some truths must remain hidden. A physicist who analyzed the footage before its deletion concluded, if real, this shows biological manipulation of electromagnetic fields. The human body cannot generate such forces without technological augmentation, unless. He never finished the statement. He resigned from his university position the next day and hasn't been seen since. Medical records from an underground fighter who sparred with Bruce in 1963 showed impossible injuries. Cellular disruption consistent with high-voltage electrical exposure, but no burn marks. Bone microfractures in perfect geometric patterns. Patient reported feeling his soul shake loose during impact. The doctor who wrote the report was found dead a week later. Official cause, heart failure. Unofficial details, his heart showed signs of electrical damage similar to lightning strike victims, despite being indoors. The alchemist's forbidden formulas Xiao Ru hire in a small herb shop in Hong Kong. But behind the mundane facade, he guarded formulas the Shaolin Temple banned 3 centuries ago for being too dangerous for mortal minds. A Queen Mary Hospital technician revealed under witness protection in 1972. We tested blood samples from a patient codenamed Dragon. Results were impossible. Cellular ATP production 500% above human maximum. Blood contained isotopes that don't exist naturally on Earth. Under electron microscopy, white blood cells appeared conscious, forming patterns resembling Chinese characters. A quantum biologist analyzing leaked data made a startling discovery. If accurate, Bruce Lee's body operated on principles we're only now understanding. His cells showed room temperature superconductivity. He could generate and channel electromagnetic energy without resistance. This isn't enhancement, it's evolution. Xiao's hidden notes contained formulas mixing ancient alchemy with molecular structures when a chemistry student attempted to synthesize one compound. The result exhibited properties that violated fundamental laws of organic chemistry. Before vanishing from a locked safe, former patients reported impossible healings after drinking Xiao's special teas. Broken bones mended in days. Chronic illnesses vanished overnight. But those who received Bruce's special formulas described stranger effects: enhanced perception, premonitive dreams, and the ability to see energy fields around people. One patient claimed he could suddenly understand languages he'd never studied. Another reported his reflexes had become so fast that the world seemed to move in slow motion. A pharmaceutical company that tried to analyze residue from one of Bruce's teacups found compounds that shouldn't exist in nature. Their mass spectrometer readings showed molecular structures that changed while being observed. The lead researcher's final report before the project was terminated: "We're not dealing with chemistry as we understand it. This is something that bridges the gap between matter and consciousness." All research materials were confiscated by unknown agents who arrived with documentation that didn't match any known government agency. The Pentagon's cultural weapon, Junri's public image, was perfect: Korean War veteran, friend to presidents, America's Taekwondo champion. But declassified documents reveal Project Golden Bridge, a program that made McCullough look amateur. A Pentagon analyst revealed understood real power wasn't military but cultural. Bruce wasn't just his student, he was a weapon of mass inspiration. Every appearance was calculated to plant specific ideas in Western consciousness. NSA intercepts from 1970 decoded. Dragon exceeds all metrics. Hollywood penetration complete. Phase 3 initiated. Global cultural saturation within 24 months. The Seven's vision will be realized. Body language experts studying Bruce's Tonight Show appearance noted remaking subtle hand signals from the audience. Bruce's responses changed based on these signals. A control system operating in plain sight. Rhee's personal files, seized after his death, contained detailed psychological profiles of every major Hollywood figure Bruce would meet. Strategies for each interaction, predicted outcomes with 94% accuracy. One memo stated, "The dragon must appear spontaneous while following the script. American audiences must believe they discovered him, not that he was delivered to them." Another document outlined a 50-year cultural impact projection that has proven accurate to within 3%. Most disturbing was a film reel labeled Activation Test Number 7. It showed Bruce performing movements while re-observed with monitoring equipment. The readings showed Bruce's brainwaves synchronizing with electromagnetic frequencies that shouldn't affect human consciousness, yet they did. Recently discovered Pentagon budget documents show millions in black budget funding flowing to Rhee's schools throughout the 1960s. The money trail leads to a project called Dragon Seed. Its stated goal: consciousness modification through kinetic programming. A whistleblower revealed they weren't teaching martial arts. They were programming a new type of human consciousness, using Bruce as the carrier wave. Every person who watched him was receiving subconscious instructions for evolutionary activation. The underground library of impossible knowledge beneath James Yim Lee's Oakland School lay a secret predating California itself. In 1989, seismic retrofitting revealed a massive complex extending 3 stories underground. An engineer who explored it reported, "We found a library with thousands of texts, some carbon-dated to before Christ. Diagrams showed human anatomy, with energy channels science doesn't recognize, mathematical equations that looked like unified field theory from someone who understood it, training equipment designed for humans with capabilities we don't possess. Yet, here Bruce spent countless hours developing Jeet Kune Do, But his private notes suggest JKD was merely the public face of something revolutionary. Pages, leaked by his estate's former attorney, contain equations that quantum physicists say describe biological manipulation of zero-point energy fields. One Caltech professor, after examining documents, quit his position and vanished, leaving only Bruce. Lee wasn't ahead of his time. He was outside of time. What he knew, we're not ready. The library's catalog, photographed before authorities sealed it, listed texts thought destroyed, the 9 dragons breathing method, electromagnetic cultivation techniques, the quantum Tao. One section was labeled simply post-human training manuals. When linguists tried to translate these texts, 3 had nervous breakdowns. One reported, "It's not just knowledge. The words themselves carry power. Reading them changes you on a cellular level." Most disturbing was Bruce's personal training log found there. Later entries weren't in any known language, yet researchers reported understanding them perfectly while reading, then forgetting everything moments later. Ground-penetrating radar revealed the complex, connected to tunnel systems predating Spanish colonization. Archaeologists found symbols matching those in the Man-Mo temple where the 7 performed Bruce's birth ritual. One chamber contained training equipment made from materials that haven't been identified. Metals that conduct electricity without resistance at room temperature. Crystals that resonate at frequencies affecting human consciousness. A brave graduate student who tried using the equipment reported, "My body moved perfectly, performing techniques I'd never learned. But it wasn't me moving. Something else was teaching me from inside my own muscles." The Guardian's protection network Taiki Kimura seemed like Bruce's loyal student running a Seattle grocery store. But documents discovered after his 2021 death revealed the Dragon Guard, a network spanning continents, protecting Bruce and controlling information about his abilities. Members included Hollywood executives, newspaper editors, police chiefs, and federal judges. Containment Protocol 7 listed 47 incidents successfully covered up, including the Paramount levitation incident and the mass consciousness event of July 1972. A dying member confessed, "We weren't protecting Bruce from the world. We were protecting the world from Bruce. The things he could do would shatter public understanding of reality." The 7 were clear. Humanity must be prepared gradually. Kimura's coded letters revealed coordination with assets globally. When Bruce demonstrated abilities publicly, the network activated. Witnesses were discredited or vanished. Film reels disappeared. News stories were killed. One letter details suppressing footage of Bruce generating visible electricity. During a demonstration, 37 witnesses, all handled official story. Special effects demonstration. 3 reporters required level 5 intervention. The network's reach was staggering. They had members in every major newspaper, TV station, and film studio. When Bruce performed his famous 2-finger push-ups on camera, the Dragon Guard ensured no one noticed his fingers never actually touched the ground. He was levitating. The few who pointed this out found their careers destroyed within weeks. Bank records showed the Dragon Guard moving millions through shell companies, funding everything from bribes to advanced research into consciousness manipulation technology. One leaked memo discussed plans for Bruce's death. The vessel is becoming unstable. Power exceeds containment capacity. Recommend activation of Transcendence Protocol on predetermined date. The date listed, July 20th, 1973. They knew. They always knew. Bruce's death wasn't an accident or murder. It was a transformation. They'd planned from the beginning. The woman who transcended human limits, the 7th Master, known as the Lady of Crimson Mist, exists in no official records. It's as if she lived between documented reality. Linda Lee Cadwell finally spoke in 2003. I saw her 5 times. She never aged. She appeared without using doors. Bruce, who feared nothing, would bow to her. They trained in silence, but the air shimmered like heat mirages. Once I tried photographing them. The camera burst into flames. Those claiming encounters describe time distortion, spontaneous healing, temporary telepathy. A physicist concluded, if reports are accurate, she achieved conscious control over quantum biological processes. A human evolved past linear time. Leaked 1971 security footage shows Bruce training with a female figure whose face is obscured by visual static emanating from her directly. Both figures phase in and out of visibility while creating geometric light patterns. 3 labs authenticated the footage before it vanished from all servers simultaneously. A martial artist who stumbled upon one of their training sessions reported reality bent around them. They moved through space in ways that hurt to watch. My nose bled just from observing. She touched Bruce's forehead, and he glowed from within. When she noticed me, she smiled. Next thing I knew, I woke up in my bed 3 days later with no memory of how I got there, but I could suddenly perform techniques I'd never learned. Ancient texts from a Tibetan monastery describe a lineage of female masters who achieved the crimson state, a level of evolution where the practitioner exists partially in multiple dimensions. Simultaneously, the description matches witness accounts perfectly. One scroll warns, those who achieve the crimson state become bridges between what is and what will be. They see all futures and choose which to manifest. Death becomes meaningless, for they exist across all timelines. Bruce's private notes reference her teachings. She shows me myself in 1,000 mirrors, each reflecting a different potential. She says I must choose not who I am, but who humanity will become through me. The responsibility is terrifying, the power intoxicating. I understand now why the 7 chose her as my final teacher. She isn't preparing me for life, she's preparing me for what comes after. The contract written in blood and time. The 1963 discovery of the Pact of 7 Seals at Manmo Temple should have made headlines. Instead, everyone involved was silenced, but fragments leaked over decades. The document, written onto 100-year-old human skin, predicted Bruce's life with impossible accuracy. Not vague prophecies, but specific details, exact dates, names, precise words, even camera angles in unmade films. A linguist noted, written in 7 languages simultaneously, not translations, but 7 messages occupying the same space, readable. Depending on mental state, the text itself was conscious. Most chilling was the signature page. 7 names in fresh blood despite being centuries old, and an 8th space, empty, dated July 20th, 1973. Blood tests revealed impossible results. DNA from 7 extinct racial groups, yet all samples were genetically identical. The lab technician who discovered this had a breakdown, repeating, they're the same person across time. The document's final page, partially burned, hinted at something beyond Bruce's death. When the dragon sheds mortal form, the seeds will scatter. In the time of digital lightning, they will sprout. The 7 will become 7,000, then 7 billion. The evolution cannot be stopped. Below this, mathematical formulas that encryption experts say would take quantum computers centuries to decode. Carbon dating of the parchment showed inconsistent results. Some sections dated to 200 BCE, others to 2073 CE. The ink contained traces of meteoric iron and organic compounds not found in Earth's biosphere. One researcher who spent too long studying it reported nightmares where Bruce Lee's face appeared on ancient warriors throughout history, all preparing for a war that hasn't happened yet. The Hong Kong Museum, where fragments were briefly stored, reported paranormal activity. security cameras malfunctioning in specific patterns, electromagnetic interference spelling out coordinates, temperature drops forming ice crystals in the shape of dragons. When investigators arrived at the coordinates, they found a buried cache containing training videos of Bruce performing techniques that wouldn't be invented for another decade. The videos were filmed on equipment that didn't exist in 1973. The night physics broke July 20th, 1973. When Bruce Lee died, reality hiccuped. Stanford Linear Accelerator detected a massive electromagnetic spike lasting 49 seconds, centered on Hong Kong but measurable globally. Dr. Sarah Chen recorded, "Every instrument went crazy at 11:06 p.m. Pacific. We detected particles that shouldn't exist, moving in patterns violating causality. For 49 seconds, physics seemed negotiable." The phenomenon coincided exactly with Bruce's reported death time. Nurse Mei Wang's classified testimony. A golden light erupted from within him, not reflected, generated. It formed a perfect dragon shape, hovered 7 seconds, then split into 7 beams that passed through walls. The body became translucent momentarily, then normal again, except empty, not dead, empty. Within 24 hours, all 7 masters were found dead worldwide. No determinable cause, each in meditation position, holding identical jade amulets that crumbled when touched. In the following 49 days, 2,401 martial artists reported identical visions, Bruce demonstrating reality-bending techniques, then dissolving into golden particles. While speaking in their native language, the dragon doesn't die, it multiplies. Children born at his exact death moment show statistical anomalies. 340% more likely to exhibit savant-level coordination. 500% more likely to have precognitive dreams. 1,000% more likely to report memories that aren't theirs of martial arts training. Several have been documented performing Bruce's signature moves perfectly without training. When asked how they learned, they consistently answer, "I've always known." NASA's classified report from that night described an energy signature consistent with dimensional barrier breach. Radio telescopes detected a signal from the direction of Hong Kong that appeared to be consciousness encoded in electromagnetic radiation. The signal repeated for exactly 49 minutes before fading. When decoded, it contained what appeared to be DNA sequences, but for an organism with 3 helixes instead of 2. Seismologists recorded microtremors worldwide that peaked at the moment of Bruce's death, forming a pattern that, when mapped, created a 3-dimensional model. Mystics recognized it as the seal of transcendence from ancient texts. Scientists couldn't explain how synchronized seismic activity could create such a precise pattern across the entire planet. The Vatican's secret archives reportedly contain testimonies from 7 priests who experienced simultaneous visions of a golden dragon ascending through dimensions of reality. The Catholic Church has never acknowledged these documents, but researchers note a sudden increase in martial arts training programs at Catholic schools worldwide starting in 1974. You feel it now, don't you? That electric recognition, that sense, that reality just shifted. That's not coincidence, that's activation. Somewhere in your DNA, something just awakened. The same something that Bruce Lee came to activate in all of humanity. If this story gave you chills, if you felt that spark of recognition, hit that like button right now. Your like sends a signal to others who are ready to wake up. Comment below, did you feel something while listening? Have you experienced strange coincidences related to Bruce Lee? What part shocked you the most? Your comment might connect you with others who are experiencing the awakening. Share this video with everyone you know who's ready for the truth. Every share spreads the activation. Every view awakens another dragon. Subscribe to Legends of the Dragon and ring that notification bell. We're releasing new revelations every week that will shatter everything you believe about human potential. Next week, the hidden Bruce Lee films that were never released and why they can't be shown. Remember, Bruce didn't just teach fighting, he taught evolution. The dragon's legacy isn't in the past, it's in you. The seven became one. The one became all. Now it's your turn. Like, comment, share, subscribe, activate. The dragon is rising. Will you rise with it?